Check 1, 2. Hello? I think it's working. Well, here I am. It is February 4th, 2025. I'm having a bit of trouble sleeping, so I felt like, just making a video. It's been a while, and I've been very organized lately, so I think it will be a bit easier to make these and then upload them straight. Yeah, a good Wi-Fi connection always helps. I wonder why is it like that. Okay, now it's good. I don't know. I felt like talking about what I had spoken with Maurice about today. I'm going to turn up the mic because maybe I'm talking too quietly. Yeah, we were talking about, he said, something that confuses me is God is he's always depicted as this person with so much ego. He's like, you will not pray to other gods, or you will not, do this, or I am the only God, or whatever, all these different things, just me, right? Yeah, and obviously, he's referring to texts within the Holy Bible. I guess depending on what version you choose to read, but yeah, but instead of just talking solely about the Holy Bible, I felt like expanding past that and trying to give him a piece of how I see these things. So I explained the idea of I need to look this up so I know I'm saying it right. I'm having trouble. Like I know there's a specific word for this, but I'm struggling to find it. But essentially, what I'm attempting to find, I just typed this into Google. What does it mean when God takes a personal form in Hinduism? I thought it was called like Satman or something like this. Satman. But anyway, I'm having trouble finding the exact. Yeah, I'm having trouble finding the exact. Anyway, total fucking sidetrack. Sorry. Um, yeah, so in response to him asking, why does it always seem God has ego, I explained that we are beings of ego, right? And in order for God, I said, God, if God just takes this form of light that then emanates all of this like divine vast knowledge, it's going to be hard for some of us to conceive, but we won't even be able to recognize maybe this being of light as God. So instead, we manifest God in forms of ego, forms of a person, or you know, like a specific human, a specific form that looks human to us, right? And because of this, when we write stories about God, God can come off as egotistical or mean or, you know, divinely good, divinely evil, whatever it is you want to, whatever it is these people wrote stories about God and who he was, who he is. Yeah. And he was having a bit of trouble understanding it. So then I explained to him, God is manifest and unmanifest. Everything manifest, everything that is, and everything that is unmanifest, everything that isn't. So, if you imagine a specific God, whatever it means to you, if you believe in Jesus Christ, you pray to Jesus Christ, and God comes to you in your dreams, he will probably come in the form of Jesus Christ. Or if in Hinduism, usually families or individuals will worship a specific god, they will pick a god that fits their form of whatever they would like to specifically receive, whether it's moral love or it's wisdom or it's guidance or whatever it is they're looking for. They can pick a specific god that is that represents those things. So when you hear about a God that is really deep-rooted in ego and is harsh, or I mean, the God in the Bible, I think in the Old Testament, literally commits like genocide. I know that he tells Solomon to wipe out an entire group of people, and then Solomon keeps like some of the cattle and the king, and God is not happy. In the Old Testament, I really hope I'm not talking out of my ass, because I actually haven't read this piece of the Bible, but this was through a conversation I had and doing like a little bit of research on my own. Yeah, I just don't want to, I guess I'm fearful of coming off as ignorant, or especially when it comes to talking about the Holy Bible, because it's what I came from. It's what I grew up with, so it feels like a bit more like a sensitive topic I don't want to fuck up, right? Yeah, but yeah, and then after I had explained to him that God is everything, he's like, so God's the devil? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, the devil doesn't exist without God's will. So, yeah, I mean, the devil is a form of God. The devil is God's creation. The devil is God. And he's like, fuck, man. Why the fuck would God do that? Yeah. It's not easy accepting that either. I think that for me, I'm not afraid of anything except God. But additionally, I fear God because he's infinite, and what he can bestow on me can be infinite in any kind of form. And that to me is scary because I don't understand it. I think the parts that the reason I fear God is from the parts that I don't understand at all. And what feels like, yeah, could just be hard to accept, hard to understand, hard to experience. Something painful. Yeah, but I don't fear the devil. I don't fear any human. I don't fear what any human could do to me, could do to this body. I only fear God. Yeah, and it's not easy to accept that God has created the devil. God has willed into way everything good and everything bad, including that terrorist attack in I forget where it was, but my mom was, this car plowed through all these people. And my mom was there just an hour before. I really hate thinking about that. Or every war, every person that's been tortured, every person that was torturing the person. 9/11. God did 9/11. So why? It's a great question. Maurice, why the fuck would God do that? Why? What I do know is it's a divine plan. What I think it started with was there was God, and then he created another. I think he is currently creating more of himself, like something that is the equivalent of himself, like more gods. So you could say, if you're speaking linearly, like we're telling a story, oh yeah, God tried to make another him, and then this is what I personally believe. Let's just tell it like a linear story so it makes more sense. God comes in out of nothing, from unmanifest into manifest, and then he's experiencing everything. He's experienced everything and nothing. The only thing that he hasn't experienced in that moment is another interacting with another being that is at the same level that he is. So he creates a vessel to try to contain it, and then he takes his divine light and puts it into the vessel, his infinite light, and the vessel is so it can't contain this pure form of his light, so it shatters into pieces, and then these pieces are separate pieces of this original vessel, and these pieces are holding tiny portions of his light. But it's almost like you took one dose of his light and put it in one thing, and then it broke into pieces, and now these are all separate pieces that make up what could have been a god, but are broken apart from each other. And now these pieces are developing egos and going, wow, look at me. Or, oh no, I just shattered, or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't know the thought that was had, but it was separate from the knowing that they were God. So then it became separate from God, or at least the illusion that it was separate from God. So then God went, let's just make him personal. Oh shit, this thing just shattered. Okay, how are we going to fix this? Alright, I know how to fix this. then he created the heavens, and then he created the earth, and however the story goes, however you want to tell it, but now I'm here, and you're here listening to it. Here we are, and this is all God's plan. That's how it started, and it ends with every single conscious thing, every single piece of his light in its linear journey, realizing it is God, and then returning back to its source and becoming a separate God from the God that created it. And then there's two gods. Or there is multiple gods. Not just two. I mean, maybe we all return back to one vessel that becomes a new god apart from that god, or we all return back to God, and then there's two of us, and I return back, and now I'm a god and he's a god, and I don't know what it really happens from there, because there is no possible way to conceive with my ego what it's like to be a god, or to be able to have a conversation as a god with another god, with God. Fuck. Yeah, but I think that is just like once we get to that point, it's gonna be like we've just taken our first steps as a baby, and now we can walk, and now we're gonna walk all over the fucking place, or we're gonna, it's just going to be the start of a new journey. I don't know if it's going to be experienced linearly, like we experience things now, but yeah, it's going to be the end of all of this and the beginning of something else. That's for sure. Yeah, and I think as bizarre as this plan is, I think the plan can be carried out in an infinite amount of ways, and they will all end with God's intention, which is to bring us back to Him and return to where we came from. Yeah, and I think this is just one specific timeline. I don't think that 9/11 had to happen. I don't think it happens in every universe, but I think it happened in this one, because in this one that had to happen to allow this batch of the infinite, of this portion of souls to get there. As crazy as it sounds, I don't know if I could be convinced that there's something else. Hopefully, if I do anything in the future that is having to do with making connections with different religions, like, that people don't come back to this video and they're like, look at his views are insane. I'm such a fucking goober. I'm so fucking full of myself. I could just think about my own future all day. But that's the flesh, right? It is 12:01 a.m. February 5th. I hope you enjoyed today if you were live on this day. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching or listening. And bye.